I am making a Kentucky rum butter pound cake, and I'm on here to show you guys what I'm going to do for the first time. Okay, I have all my ingredients already made here. I have my cake pan already buttered and floured. I already have my butter and my butter shortening in my bowl here. So I'm going to hand this camera over to my hubby, and I'm going to start making this Kentucky rum butter pound cake for the first time, okay? And what they're telling me to do, as you guys always know, I cover my hair, I put on my apron, and I wash my hands. So hang with me in making this cake for the first time, okay? Let me get my mixer out here, which I meant to do prior, but hey, better late than never. Plug this in here. Okay, let me get started here. Okay, the recipe, I'm going to preheat my oven, which I've already did. I preheated my oven to 325 degrees, and I've already greased my bundt pan and floured it. And now in my large bowl, I'm going to whisk together my flour, which it calls for 3 cups of flour in this bowl, okay? And I also have 1 teaspoon of baking powder, and I have 1/2 teaspoon of salt. I already have that in this bowl, and I'm just going to whisk it. A friend of mine got me this nice whisker. So I'm just going to whisk those dry ingredients together like that. And then I'm going to set that aside. Okay? All right. Okay, and then the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to cream my butter. I always use real butter. Some people like margarine. I like real butter. And I'm going to use this Crisco shortening. Okay, I'm going to use 1 stick of this, which is 1/2 cup, okay? And then I'm going to put 2 sticks of butter in here, which I already have in my bowl. And I'm going to mix that up real good. And it says cream it on a low speed, okay? So I'm on a low speed, and I'm creaming that butter and that butter flavored shortening. Okay, I got that all combined. And then it says alternate eggs, okay? I have my eggs already cracked, and you use 5 of them, 5 eggs. And it says alternate the eggs and the sugar. It calls for 3 cups of sugar, okay? So I'm going to alternate those eggs. I'm going to dump a couple of them in here, okay? And then I'm going to dump some of this sugar off in here. This is 3 cups of sugar, okay? And I like this sugar, this Baker's Ultra Fine Pure sugar, cane sugar. That's the sugar that I like. I'm just sort of creaming that. Okay, let me alternate the eggs again. Here goes a couple more eggs. Down in that mixture. Alternate those 5 eggs and that 3 cups of sugar. Okay, I'm going to add some more sugar. Like I said, this is the first time I'm making this. When I see recipes, I like to try them out for myself and see how they turn out. And I love pound cake. I just can't eat a lot of it. I can have a slice, but that's looking real good down in there. Look at that. That's looking real good. Okay, I have one more egg in this bowl. I'm going to dump that in there. Just sort of creaming that all up. And for all of the mothers out there, happy Mother's Day tomorrow. I decided to do what I was going to do today because they're predicting 80% rain in northwest Ohio, Toledo, Maumee, Perrysburg area on tomorrow. So I'm probably just going to stay in the house tomorrow and just relax and savor my mothership and my grandmothership. I'm going to just savor it tomorrow. So anyway, let me dump the rest of this sugar down in there. Dumping that down in there, finishing that off. And this also has a nice rum butter glaze to it. Y'all see the rum? This is a Kentucky rum butter pound cake. So I've got all of that mixed in there like that. And they said beat it until it's fluffy. Beat it until it's fluffy on low speed. Okay. Now it's asking for me to put vanilla extract and rum extract. Okay, here's my vanilla. I like pure vanilla. I don't like imitation. That's just me. And I bought pure rum extract, okay? And it's asking for me to put in 1/4 teaspoon of rum extract. Okay, I have my 4th teaspoon. And if you know those that are not on here, you know you can always come back later and watch this. This is 1/4 teaspoon. I like to dribble it over. I'm not exact on things. And it also calls for 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. Here's my teaspoon, my vanilla. Oh, it's smelling good already. You smell that rum flavor. It says 2 teaspoons, and I always let it dribble over. Okay, that's 2 teaspoons. Okay? All right, I'm going to mix that in there. Mix that real good. Oh, it smells good already. That's the first time I've ever used rum extract. I usually do just pure vanilla, but it's calling for rum extract. So I'm just stirring that all up in there like that. Okay. Now it's saying mix my dry ingredients into my wet ingredients, alternating my buttermilk. It calls for 1 cup of buttermilk. I have 3 cups of all-purpose flour in this bowl. I also have 1 teaspoon of baking powder and 1/2 teaspoon of salt. So it's telling me to alternate those dried ingredients into my wet ingredients here, okay? The cake looks very good when I seen the recipe online. So I'm just going to dump some of that flour mixture in there. That's 3 cups of flour. And I didn't have to sift it, which I was glad I didn't have to. But that's time consuming. Okay, now I'm going to add probably about half of my buttermilk. It calls for 1 cup buttermilk. I'm going to add about half of that in there. Oh, it's looking very good. Very creamy. Very creamy, you guys. Very creamy. Okay, let me go add the rest of my flour mixture. Put all that in there. I like to teach the young folks how to bake because for some reason in my mind, I think when us baby boomers are no longer on the planet, at least they can go back and watch this if they want to know how to make a Kentucky rum butter pound cake. Just mixing that all up in there. I know it said low speed, but I'm going to increase the speed just one. Okay. Now I'm going to add the last of my buttermilk. It calls for 1 cup. I have a half a cup left. I'm going to add that in there because they wanted me to alternate that flour and the buttermilk. So I got that. Here's my buttermilk. And this, I can feel the scratches. That's why I wear an apron. So that it doesn't splash up my clothing. That's looking very, very creamy. I'm just going to use my spatula and get all that that's around the side to get down in there. Oh, it's looking very creamy. I have a feeling it's going to taste very good. I don't know whether I'm going to do my glaze on this live. I might come back and do that. Or I might do it now. Get it over with. So anywho, everything looks like it's all mixed in there. Stir until fluffy. Okay. That looks pretty good to me. If you can see down in there how creamy that is. Alrighty. Done. Stick a fork in that. Okay. Okay. Now I already have my bundt pan already greased, as they say. I use some of that butter flavored shortening, and then I douse some flour on there, and that's all ready to be poured into my bundt pan. I think I'll just use my spatula. Okay, here we go. Just gonna spoon that off in there. For some reason they said spoon it, but I'm just gonna dump it in there. I'll be all day trying to spoon, so. Okay, I'm gonna flip that pan around. Put the rest of that down in there. Oh, don't that look good, you guys? I hope it tastes good because, like I said, this is the first time that I've made this. So I'm just going to dump that all around in there. Try to give it get it even. I never made a pound cake that called for buttermilk. My pound cakes usually calls for cream cheese, the one that I like to make. Cream cheese. So I'm trying to get all of that down in there. All of that. If I had some children, they would be licking the bowl. And I used to lick the bowl, but I don't so much lick bowls anymore. I have to watch it, my intake. So I'm old school. That's why it's good to wash your hands, because I like to get all of that off of that spatula, like that, okay?
A couple of people just joined. You may again tell them what it is that you are preparing, Queen Girl.
Okay, I am making a Kentucky rum butter pound cake. The first time that I've ever ventured off into making this type of a pound cake. I usually make the pound cake that calls for the cream cheese, but this was buttermilk, okay? So I got all of that down in there. And what I'm gonna do is just shake my pan. I'm gonna shake my pan and make sure I get all the air bubbles out of there. Shake that pan real good. Shake, shake, shake. Shake, shake, shake. Shake your butter Kentucky rum pound cake. Shake, shake, shake. Shake, shake, shake. Get all them air bubbles out of there. Real good. Make that cake be even all the way around. And sort of wipe up some of the excess. Okay, my oven is already preheated, and now I'm going to stick this bad boy in there. Here she goes. Stick that in there, and it says I'm going to leave that in there approximately 1 hour and 15 to 20 minutes. So it's 4:09 right now. Let's even it up to 4:10. And so that I don't forget, I normally write down the time that I put cakes in the oven. Okay, so that I know that in another hour, that'll be 5:10, at 5:25, around probably about 5:20, I'm gonna look at that cake. Let's say 5:15, and I'm going to test it. I have a skewer. I'm going to stick the skewer down in there, and I'm going to test it to make sure that it's done. Okay? So while I have you guys on here, hang in here with me, because I don't want to make too many videos. I'm going to do the butter syrup. Okay, that's the glaze that's going to go on the over the pound cake. Okay?
As always, you guys that are commenting, the Queen will comment back to you when she's all done.
Yeah, because I can't do it while I'm cooking, because I'll burn up and mess up stuff. Ooh, Lord have mercy. So anywho, now we're going to run over to the stove, where I'm going to run over to the sink and wash out my cup. See, when you're in here cooking, you're trying to do everything. Wash out everything. But y'all know I like to bake, I like to cook. When I do cook, I don't cook and bake often. But this is like a Mother's Day present to myself. So let me run over here to the stove. And it calls for 1 1/2 sticks of butter, okay? I got this heat on very low. I have 1 stick of butter here. Put that in there. Okay, and it's calling for 1/2 stick of butter. So 1 1/2 sticks of butter. And I set this butter out and make it be room temperature, just like I do my eggs. Okay, that's 1/2. Alrighty. Now, let's see what goes in there next. Okay. What goes in there next is 1 1/2 cup of granulated sugar. Y'all hang in there with me if you want to learn how to make this cake, or you can always go back and watch it later. Okay, it's calling. I don't know why I keep saying causing, but I mean to say calling. So to get that butter all melted down in there. Now it's calling for 1 1/2 cup of sugar. This is for my glaze, you guys. One. Well, you have to wash your hands because you got to touch food. That's 1 cup of sugar. I'm going to do a 1/2 cup of more sugar. Sometimes this sugar is sort of lumpy, so I have to break it up with my fingers. So let's see, I'm pretty good at this measuring. Okay, got that in there. Now I'm going to stir that all up in there. This is my glaze. I'm always hoping when I'm online things turn out okay, but if they don't, they don't. Okay, now it's calling for 1/3 cup of water. I use bottled water because I don't like drinking out of the faucet, cooking from the faucet. Ever since that water went bad in Toledo, I'm afraid to drink it. Okay, it's calling for 1/3 cup of water. Oh, I hope this turned out okay. I'm always nervous when I'm cooking when people are watching. So that butter is still melting. And do not bring this to a boil. You do not want to bring this to a boil. You just want that butter and that sugar to melt down in there. And I'm gonna run over here and get my extracts. Okay. I'm not gonna put that in there. You never put alcohol, because this is alcohol based, until after you take it off the fire. Anywho, stirring that butter. It's still melting. It's starting to look glazy. That butter needs to melt though. Trying to get that butter to melt in there. This is what I'm going to top the cake with when I'm done. And what they want me to do after that cake comes out of the oven, I'm going to use the skewer and I'm going to punch some holes down into the cake. But you don't go all the way to the bottom of the cake. You just punch the holes like halfway through the cake, and then that's where I'm going to be pouring this glaze down in those holes that I put at the top of the cake. Oh, it's melting down now, you guys. Oh, it's melting down. That butter is melting down real good. That's what I like to see. Yes, that's what I like to see. Okay, stirring this butter mixture. says keep stirring the butter mixture until it sort of foamy thickens. But you don't want to boil it. You don't want to boil it. Yes, getting that glazy look to it. And remember, do not boil it. It says keep stirring until it gets a little foamy and start to thicken. But it's not going to be real thick. It's just going to be a nice glazy thick, okay? So what I'm going to do now, it says remove from the heat. Because you can't put that, ooh, I don't like my pot's looking crazy. Okay, this is what I'm, oh yeah, it's foaming up. I see the foam, you guys. Ooh, I like to see what the recipe says it's going to look like. Yes, I seen that little foam. Ooh, yeah, I see that little foam around the sides. That's what it says it's gonna look like. Ooh, that's what it says it's gonna look like. So I must be doing it right. I must be doing it right. Ow. Okay, when I see the foam, they tell me to remove it from the heat. So I'm gonna turn that heat off and I'm gonna remove it. And then I'm gonna add 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Like I said, I like to dribble. That's 1 teaspoon vanilla extract and 1/2 teaspoon of the rum extract, and it's pure. Pure. Ooh, look at that. Oh, look at that, y'all. And then I'm going to stir it. It smells really good. It smells really good. All right, there you have it. So I'm going to let that sit until my cake gets done. And like I said, once my cake comes out of the oven, I'm going to leave it in the butt pan, okay? And I'm going to try to loosen up the sides of that cake, because sometimes it can stick to the side and it's hard to get out. So I'm going to let it just cool down some. And while it's hot though, I'm going to stick the skewer. I'm going to make about 8 to 10 holes. But do not go all the way to the bottom, okay? Only go inside that cake about half, because I'm going to take my glaze and I'm going to spoon it over so that it goes down into the holes, okay? And then once it's cooled down, but not too much, I'm going to flip it out of there and put it on a cake plate, and then I'm going to take the rest of that glaze and I'm going to brush it all over the cake, all over the top of the cake, around the sides of the cake, and all of that with my brush, okay? So there you have it, and I'll be back once the cake is finished, and I'll show you guys a picture of the cake. Thank you for joining in with me, and I hope you have enjoyed watching me make this Kentucky rum butter pound cake, okay? Alrighty, so I'm going to take the camera from my husband, but I'm going to jump over here with him. Oh, let me flip the camera. Hey, always know that the queen loves herself, she loves her cameraman, and she also loves y'all to life. I hope y'all have enjoyed watching this. I'm going to close out because I'm gonna come back when the cake is out of the oven and I'm gonna show you guys a picture, okay? Happy Mother's Day, everybody. Enjoy your day. All of you guys deserve it, because us mothers, we do so much to keep things going, to keep the glue in families. And I often say, once that mother leaves this planet, it seems like families sort of fall apart, some of them, because we are the glue. So this mother is going to lay around tomorrow and she's going to enjoy herself. Take care. I love y'all. To life. Peace.